Bernstein Unfiltered. Unfiltered on 312 Sports.
Sleep that we need on this post-Bears victory Tuesday. The Bears defeat Washington 25-24, and we are here on Dan Bernstein Unfiltered. I'm Dan Bernstein, and that is our executive producer, Matt Abaticola. This is a big day for 312 Sports. Just so you know, we are becoming more of a complete sports podcast network today. Not only are we welcoming you to talk Bears and more on DBU, we're going to go deep into the Bears today on our day after episode of Forward Progress. And later on this afternoon, if you're a Bulls fan, if you're an NBA fan, it's back. We're already over 100 episodes in to Organizations Win Championships, but the very same podcast has made its official transfer from Odyssey 2400 Sports now to 312 Sports Chicago, part of the Gamut network of Hubbard Broadcasting. And we are going to be back with OWC later on this afternoon. So we're very, very excited about that.
Yeah, that's exciting. And the co-host of that show actually was infiltrating the comments last night.
Well, we're going to get to
Bears
whatever,
live post game.
Whatever penis face was doing in the chat last night.
Man, he was going after you hard.
Oh, I know. We'll talk more in Forward Progress about that and my experience with the chat last night, because y'all crazy, man.
Yeah, that was something you just shared. That was interesting.
There's some whatever community that is in the live chat is a thing.
Yeah, what you just shared with me about Jake Moody, I pulled up his picture and I'm like, God, he looks like a puffy Mitch Trubisky. And then you said, someone in the comments said it was a combination of Mitch Trubisky and
Cam Scadaboo. No, it's a meme. Somebody actually did it with the pictures.
Oh,
and did like a Conan O'Brien show.
That's great.
Commingling of the faces. If Mitch Trubisky and Cam Scadaboo, as currently presented, had a baby, it would be Jake Moody.
Yeah, 100%. It's so, man, he looks just like he could be like a relative of Trubisky.
Well, they did it. And I loved watching the post game of Ben Johnson. He's an excitable feller, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
He was very, very amped up after the game, and we have our Bears cheer no matter what happens. I just want to make sure I have this right. Good, better, best. Never let it rest until your good gets better and your better gets best.
Yeah, it's
No. It's a lot better than the HITS principle. It's not an acronym.
It's not an acronym, but it sounds like a nursery rhyme.
It kind of does, but that's okay. These are football players. Good, better, best. Never let it rest. See, doing this in other voices, like if Boris Karloff, good, better, best. Never let it rest until your good gets better and your better gets best.
No, you know who it sounds like. Come on, you know who it sounds like.
Okay, are we going to do...
I don't know. Are you going to do it? I guess it's up to you. I mean, that's exactly what it sounds like.
Okay, we start doing nursery rhymes. Good, better, best, never let it rest. And now I'm thinking Andrew Dice Clay.
100%. It's Ben Dice Clay.
Ben Dice. Good, better, best. Never let it rest until your good gets better. All over a chest. Oh!
Yeah, right. That's 100% what it sounds like. I can picture him in the leather jackets coming out, big
snapping
mutton
the collar
chops.
Up.
Yes.
He's got the cigarette. He's flicking it.
Yeah, just flicks it right at the media.
Hey, little boy blue. He needed the money. Oh!
Right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Bears head coach Ben Dice Clay.
And you know what the best part is? The entire locker room would have absolutely no idea what the bid is.
Not a
maybe
clue.
Tony Medlin is in the back like, he's funny. That's a good bit, coach.
Yeah, maybe. I think what do you think
Hickory dickory dock.
Hightower would know the bit?
Maybe. Not really, because it was a cultural thing from like 1989.
I don't know, but it's just, man, that's something.
Old Mother Hubbard went to the cupboard to get a dog a bone. Oh,
right. It's something, man. Hey, you know what? If that's what they want to chant and do nursery rhymes together,
whatever it takes.
Whatever, whatever works.
If you're celebrating giving out game balls, I don't care what you're doing. I don't care if you're reciting nursery rhymes. I don't care if you're doing the love song of J. Alfred Prufrock. Although extra points if you are doing that. All right, everybody get together like a patient etherized on a table. Ah!
Yeah, but
all right, gather round. I should have been a pair of ragged claws, scuttling across the floors of silent seas. Ah!
But that only works when you win.
T.S. Eliot would get him going.
It only works when you win.
Hollow Men.
If you're not winning, it's all stupid.
This is the way the world ends. Data dam yata diadvam. Boy, this coach really knows how to use T.S. Eliot, doesn't he?
Oh boy, you're off on one. What is that saying again? Good, better, best. Never let it rest.
Good, better, best. Never let it rest until your good gets better and your better gets best.
Okay.
I should have slept more, I think.
That's what I was wondering. I was wondering, like, how late were you up? Because I know you ate after our post game.
Yeah, I was up pretty late. I was up pretty late, and I will get into this on Forward Progress. I had a lot. I just don't miss Forward Progress today. Okay. All I'm going to tell you. Right. I'm going to save it for that.
Yeah, I won't.
So I don't think the Bears are that much better than they were before the game. However, I do think the outcome. This is just a completely outcome-based understanding of where the Bears are. This league so little separates, I don't know, good, better, best, I guess. As if we're already copping to the Ben Johnson scale here. So little separates it that a ridiculous outcome like this matters in ways it probably shouldn't. And that's okay. It's all right for it to matter that they can be a winning team. They can be, this advances them in their own mind a level and tells them that they are, like the word I used last night, they're allowed to win some of these games. There aren't these otherworldly forces that make the Bears lose these games. Even though we felt that way, and it there may be all sorts of internal evidence that we have and anecdotal evidence that makes us feel that they're not entitled to some of these victories. They've gotten a couple in a row here.
Yeah, no, you've had two wins and the final plays because of special teams with the blocked field goal, then the made field goal. And I'll tell you what I felt in reflecting on the game this morning. The Bears have some things to clean up. But they're a roster that has some talent in some areas. But last night, and they're figuring out how to use it and how to go about it as players. But that win last night was really the result of some good coaching. That's preparation and coaching and game planning from Ben Johnson and Dennis Allen to go after the Washington Commanders. I think the Commanders are, despite the loss last night, are a better team. I think they have more talent on the roster. They had two receivers that would have impacted the game tremendously last night that weren't there. But that was a team that was prepared to go out and execute a game plan put in place by Ben Johnson, Dennis Allen, and I thought it was just really, really good coaching. And they're learning, and they're putting it together. Now, I don't think they're going to end up being one of the better teams in the league. I mean, we'll see. I mean, it's only 5 games through right now. But that last night, to me, was a game won based on coaching and preparation going into that game. So kudos to Ben Johnson, Dennis Allen on what they did last night on the road in a very tough place to play.
And looking at the way the schedule sets up right now, they have a chance to build a little something before they get back into the defining matchups of the division. Starting the season 0-2 and 0-2 in the division was a crotch kick.
Yeah, sure was.
And now outside of the division, you have a chance to build something a little bit, and we can talk about all the soft stuff about identity and what that means and the confidence and what they think they are. But it times up okay to then go away to the wilderness for a little while outside the division, figure out what you do and how you do it, and then come back to say, okay, let's put this up against the division. Now, obviously, every week is the Super Bowl in the NFL. It is a week-to-week league. That is something that you got to remember all the time. It's just about doing enough each week and then trying to figure out what everything means. But I do like the way it sets up for them with some of these matchups. They're a 6-point favorite this Sunday.
Well, they should be. I mean, they really should be. The Saints are not a very good football team. And then they have, what do they have? We went over the schedule last night, the next four. It's Saints,
Ravens,
Bengals, Giants. Yeah, the next four. I mean, those are four winnable games. Depending on which Giants team shows up and how they play, that could be a very competitive game. But the Bears should be favored in the Saints game by 6. They should be favored in that Bengals game, even with my guy Super Duper there at quarterback. And then the Ravens, if they'll get a little healthier, maybe we'll see. I don't know, but they are just not a very competitive football team right now.
Could you imagine if the Bears had a pass rush? I mean, they're doing this without a pass rush.
Yeah,
and what's incredible, they're generating a ridiculous number of turnovers. I think they're second to the Jaguars right now in turnovers. They were bragging last night in the locker room internally about getting a 3-piece. It is something they try to do. It's clearly something more than coincidence. It's more than luck at this point. Whether or not it can be replicated and sustained, I don't know. But if they think it can, that's half the battle. And they're doing it without a pass rush. Usually, you get turnovers part and parcel, a function of your pass rush. So this is very different.
Yeah, no, I agree. But I saw a little. There was more pass rush last night. Now, if it's the use of different blitzes and different packages, that's fine. That's what you have to do because you have the ability. With guys getting healthier, with Edwards coming back, makes a significant difference in the run game. So you're able to do some different blitz looks and different blitz packages, having him on the field. Kyler Gordon, having him back, helps your secondary so much that you can do different things. So as they get more healthy and get more comfortable, I thought Brisker had a tough game despite the interception last night. And these guys get healthier and on the field together more. I think you can do more of that and generate more of that pass rush because you're not seeing it, obviously, with the front four. I thought Montez Sweat had his best game of the season so far last night.
Well, here's something that I loved, and I don't want to spend too much time. We're patting ourselves on the back for some things, but one thing we talked about out of the bye week was the idea of less is more, of understanding here's what we do, here's what we can break the huddle feeling really good about, and let's not have too much in there that we don't need. Ben Johnson, after the game, said this is probably the smallest menu we've had going into a week, talking about the run game. Maybe that has something to do with us being able to execute a little bit better, a little less volume. We had just a few different ways we wanted to attack this team, and they did a good job executing that. But those two words, the smallest menu, I love that. Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what we were discussing about how to approach a bye week for a young team this year. Maybe not every team every year. I'm not talking about an experienced team with a veteran quarterback who says maybe the bye week is the time to make your menu like Cheesecake Factory. This is not that team. And I know that feeling when I go to a restaurant that's been recommended to me and you sit down and either it's just a chalkboard and there's 3 entrees, or it's a small piece of paper, and there's 4 apps, there's a soup or a salad, and every one of those 4 entrees is good.
Yeah,
you know that. They've pared it down already. They know it's a small kitchen. They know exactly what the good ingredients are that week. They're not going to try to put something on you that's been back in the cooler for a week and a half just to clear it out of there. You know everything on that menu they believe in. This concludes my restaurant metaphor.
Just looking at some team numbers in sacks, the Bears are 30th in the league in sacks.
Yeah, it's a bad pass rush.
The Broncos have 30, and there's 2 teams with 20.
Well, the Broncos, who's that guy, Benito, that's leading the league?
Mussolini?
No, it's the the fish that is always annoying. It's always annoying to catch a bonito because you think
Nemo.
it's a tuna. And no, I think that's it. Benino.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Whoever they've got a guy on the edge that's feasting, and you've got one lockdown corner there, and they've got a defensive identity. So it's and what they're 4-2 now. There's a lot of blob.
And the Bears have 8 interceptions to the Jaguars 10. There's 3 teams that have interception touchdowns. The Bears are one of them, obviously. With
that was
guy
Deshaun Wright.
Yeah,
I thought they had 9 interceptions. I could be wrong.
10-8-7, unless NFL.com's not updated, and you know more than NFL.com, which is possible.
I'm not saying I know more. I'm just saying I thought I heard that. And the Bears also, they did this last night, despite for the most part being bad on third down.
Yeah. Oh, and another thing too, they need to clean up is the penalties. The Commanders had 4 first downs on Bears penalties. Overall, 9 penalties for 84 yards. I mean, that stuff has to clean up. Now, again, it was the officiating crew last night was interesting with some of their calls.
Interesting, meaning annoying. It was very annoying. There were little things in that game that were nettlesome, and I get it now. I've been watching some of the compilations that people have put together regarding Troy Aikman and why he seemed reticent to give the Bears credit when they did well. And it was making some people very, very angry. I don't get hung up on Buck and Aikman the way some people do. For some reason, it doesn't. Football games, it tends not to bother me quite as much unless it's really egregious. But it was definitely a theme across Bearsdom last night.
Interesting. Yeah, no, it certainly was. In our postgame, the comments, there was a lot of hatred for Joe Buck, which I ignore that because people have these false perceptions of Joe Buck and his hatred for Chicago. The Troy Aikman thing, I think I like him and liked him so much as a football player. I just kind of let things kind of slide off a little bit easier with Joe Buck or with Troy Aikman as opposed to other guys that I think hate the Bears broadcast. But I didn't pick up on that last night. I think I was too angry and focused on how bad the officiating was last night to kind of ignore the booth a bit.
It didn't really. It may bother me after the fact, but it didn't certainly. I was too busy concentrating on what was going on in the football game to get too thrown off by anything. And it's usually the mark of an interesting, exciting football game. If very often I'm watching the play, I'm writing something down, I'm writing notes, and then I'm up and I'm watching another play. So it wasn't really there to distract me. And sometimes it takes a little time for some of these conclusions to soak in. And what we do more on this show than on Forward Progress is...
We are morons on this show.
Yes, we are morons. is we look at the larger picture. And this is a good... coming out of the bye with a positive is so different and gives you so much more optimism that they have our same televisions. Their tape is what we see. There's something very satisfying in that. When you heard everything we were talking about for 2 weeks, I said, keep it simple. Find running plays that you know are good. Give me more outside zone because that's what this offensive line is going to be better at doing. And they did a little bit. We saw ISO, we saw duo, but when it mattered most, you get that. And this, I was thinking about the aesthetic joy of watching those plays develop late as they moved to the right, which for when we are watching on television, they're moving from right to left and away from us. So from that angle, from that camera, it's often difficult. If you're in the end zone, it's great. It's easy to see. And so on Sundays on the All-22s, you can watch the stretch, see where the cutback lanes are and see the development of it. But what's really cool, when you're watching from that camera, you just see it go out, and it builds the anticipation. So when Swift gets downhill, and when he does stick his foot in the ground, as the football people say, and turns that corner, there is a satisfaction to it. And to see how far in the run game your fat guys can get downfield on a well-executed zone play is satisfying in a way that other kinds of running plays are not.
Yeah, the Bears kept Krosky Merritt to 3.6 yards on average. So, and here's what I love, just looking at some of the numbers, on the rushing numbers particularly. Caleb Williams, that they have listed 4 carries for -2 yards. So he did not impact the running game at all, which I love. I love to see that he utilized the passing game and his arm, and it wasn't about Caleb Williams running and making plays. It was about the 7.7 average that DeAndre Swift had. For Washington, they finished with 124 yards rushing, but 52 came from Jaden Daniels. Only 61 came from their running backs. I loved that they were able to stop and contain that running game just a bit. Now, if he scrambles, that's hard. And Montez Sweat might have had him once or twice in the backfield, and he just juked. He juked and got some yards. And it's frustrating that is to watch, but that's normally what our opponents watch and see with Caleb Williams. I love that Williams didn't impact the running game, and yet the Bears finished with over 140 yards rushing.
Let me highlight what I think was a notable running play by Caleb Williams. And this was after the 3rd and 5 late when Williams found Colston Loveland for the 6-yard pass on the first down.
When
the
he
one
fell
you
down
said.
he cradled
Yes.
the baby.
Yes, sir. He caught the
Like
ball.
no
He's
one was near him, and he just fell.
I know. He's like, I'm giving myself up. I surrender. I have the first down. Nobody touch me. Is everything okay? Is there a flag? Can I leave now? Yes. Then Swift cracked one for 10 yards.
Mm-hmm.
The very next play, Williams dropped back. He ran left, and then he realized score and situation. And as opposed to, and I'm going to invoke a name we're usually not allowed to say, Marion Barber, he slid inbounds.
Mm-hmm.
That forced Washington to burn their last timeout.
Yeah, no, that's smart.
And that allowed them to get the clock down to 3 seconds to win the game. That awareness, that understanding, it was a little run play, but he stayed inbounds. He knew exactly what was going on. And when you talk about the running impacting the game, that was a big one without really gaining any yards.
Yeah, no, for sure. It was a super smart play to slide, to stay in bounds. Yeah, force the timeout like you mentioned. But let's go a little further down before the Bears get the ball back. And Washington's down at a long third down and long. And they get I think it's 3rd down and 13. And they get a 16-yard gain to get a first down. And I was really mad. Really mad.
Yeah,
because
that was the dump off. That was the dump off to McNichols where
Correct.
they didn't close quickly enough.
Right, and they had it played correctly, just didn't close and tackle and prevent him from getting 16 yards. So at that point, it's like, all right, well now if they're lucky, they'll get the ball back with less than 2 minutes, and then you get the mishandled snap. The ball slips out of Daniel's hand before it gets to Frosty, and Bears recover the ball. I mean, it was just something that was just meant to be for the Bears to get an opportunity. Instead of like, oh my God, it's less than 2 minutes, let's see what they can do. They had a little bit of breathing room here with another turnover by the Redskins, and they took advantage of it, which normally we haven't seen that in recent regimes with this Bears team.
You know you're not going to have me on meant to be.
I know I'm not. Your reaction was all I needed, though.
It's a bridge too far.
It was all I needed. It was all I needed.
It was meant to be. Somehow the football gods smiled upon the Bears and anointed them with oil, and their cup runneth over. Wait, hold on. Wait, it's time for my daily affirmation. Hold on. Good, better, best.
Oh boy.
Never let it rest until your good gets better and your better gets best. Breathe. Hold. Breathe. See?
Hey, can I ask you a question now?
Of course.
Okay. So the Bears are 3-2.
Wait, hold on. Don't ask it yet. Okay, now.
Let's pretend the Bears are 0-5. And that's Ben Johnson's mantra for the team.
Okay.
How do you feel?
I would say he's playing the long game.
Okay. I would say, when did they hire Mark Trestman back?
No, Trestman would be too weird to do something like this. He'd have some sort of bizarro rhyme scheme, some sort of like free verse thing going on, some avant-garde. It wouldn't, whatever it would be, wouldn't make sense.
Is Mark Trestman the most likable, worst coach in Chicago history?
Oh, Abe Gibran. Isn't Abe Gibran the most likable bad coach?
What was Abe? Was Abe 70s?
Early 70s. Everyone loved Abe.
Yeah, I was born in 73, so I don't really know.
I'm just going by what
Abe.
Doug Buffone used to say about him. That
Oh,
Abe,
okay. So Doug loved him?
everybody liked Abe. He was just bad.
Yeah, and I think Mark Trestman is probably one of the most likable guys.
I don't know. I guess
He was just weird,
very, very weird.
but he was bad.
Weird and bad. Now, that would be an interesting way of graphing it. If we have the vectors like bad, weird, likable. Matt Nagy started out really likable and then turned into a penis at the end. He got all sour and he was indignant at the end and kind of insulted. And the Bears thing broke him by the end.
Are you familiar with a thing they use it in talent evaluation HR? It's called a 9-box. Do you know a 9-box?
No.
So imagine like a big square and there's nine sections in the square, and like the top right corner is like the best type of employee, and like the bottom left corner is like the worst type. We could make a graph like that based on weirdness and ability and like wins and losses and kind of rank all the Bears players.
I'm sure it's been done.
And a 9-box.
It reminds the 4-box I learned in political science in college. James David Barber was my professor, and
James David Barber sounds like a serial killer.
Look him up. He's probably dead, but he was famous for the.
Why was he old or was he not well? Why do you think he's probably dead?
He juggled knives as a hobby. No.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna say he's probably dead.
Right.
Yeah.
He loved, for some reason, my professor was always trying to tame king cobras. I don't know why that was. You'd go to office hours and there would be like banded crates and puff adders all over his office all the time. So my guess is he's probably dead.
Probably dead.
He was
yeah,
really
that's
old.
Good.
But
okay.
he always had this. He was famous for the quadratic presidential formula. It was positive, negative, active, passive.
Yeah, that's my favorite of all the presidential formulas.
Yeah, but that was like he became famous and he wrote a bunch of books on that, and he taught a bunch of freshman survey courses. You could say you took his course, and I got a 91 in his course. So
look at you.
But I mean,
why didn't you do better?
I don't beer.
Okay.
Because there were 16-ounce $1 malt liquors at a bar on campus. That's why I didn't do better.
Wait, one of my favorite classes was a freshman survey class. There was Old Testament survey, New Testament survey, and there's probably 200 freshmen in this class. A huge auditorium.
Yeah.
And one of my buddies was like, "Hey, can you ask during Old Testament survey?" He's like, "Ask about the People's Front of Judea."
We're the People's Front of Judea.
So of course I asked. Professor's like, "Yeah, I'm not too familiar with that group."
Oh, see, it would have been really funny if the professor understood and he said, "No, not the People's Front of Judea, the People's Judean Front. That's the one we're going to talk about today." Like, had you gotten that response,
I don't think there was many professors at Moody that watched. So
why not? Why not?
I can't picture that.
What if it was like the cool youth pastor with the guitar?
No, those weren't professors at Moody.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's what you would have been.
No, I didn't know. I never played guitar.
You were on track. Had you continued your educational track, you absolutely would have been like the cool pastor. It's like, he's not like the other ones. He's actually kind of normal.
Well, when I did it for a few years, and I ran youth. I was a youth pastor at a church in the suburbs in Berwyn. And my whole thing was after school, meet at Taco Bell, and then we'll go play basketball. So that's how I was the cool guy.
That'll do it.
Yeah, no, it was good. Taco Bell, got the corner booth, as many tacos as you want, then we'll go shoot some hoops.
Okay, well, I joined that church.
I don't know if we would have accepted you, but we'll see.
What? I would have been awesome. I'm great at Taco Bell.
Speaking of basketball, speaking of Taco Bell, I did Taco Bell last night.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, during the game I had to. I hadn't eaten all day.
You know what I did last night? I was up in the suburbs late afternoon, stopped at New York Bagel and Bialy. I got a pound of pastrami. I got a loaf of rye bread. Oh, God. 2 potato pancakes.
Oh, nice.
I air fried, and these pancakes are huge, and I air fried the potato pancakes. I microwaved the huge pile of pastrami for like 30 seconds. I brought the entire loaf of rye bread over to the coffee table. And after we were done with everything last night, I made like 4 giant corned beef sandwiches. I ate the entire pound of pastrami. Ate the entire pound, ate all of it.
This is what, midnight?
12:30.
Okay, what time did you go to bed?
1:30.
Oh, that's not too bad. That's not too bad.
That's when I went to bed. It's not when I fell asleep because I have to watch
Oh.
silly videos on my phone for a while.
Oh, do you really?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And then I put on sleep music.
Like AC/DC?
No,
You put on the drive? Do you stream the drive?
There's an account on YouTube called. It's a British guy. It's called Retrocausal Memories. He's a composer, and he does all sorts of really cool ambient music for sleep or for background for work. And for whatever reason, every once in a while, I find something that is just the right mental frequency to just turn my lights out.
Interesting. Yeah,
It's a great account.
I need a dark room and a fan, and I'm good to go.
I'm a fan.
Thank you, buddy. I
You
appreciate
need
that.
me in there?
Yeah. Okay. You just come and hang out in my room and say positive
I'm a
things
fan.
to
And
me?
you know what I'll do? Here's what I do. As you're falling asleep, you have your little eye mask on. I come over and I say, "Good, better, best.
Oh boy.
Never let it rest until your good gets better and your better gets best."
This is going to be a thing for the season, isn't it?
Well, it's the Bears slogan.
Okay.
We have to incorporate this in our daily lives. This is our affirmation.
You know, you mentioned the pastrami and rye, which one of my favorite sandwiches, and my favorite sandwich of all time though is a ham and Swiss on rye, and my daughter thinks it's disgusting to eat rye bread. She was like,
Well, rye
"You
bread is
seriously
great, but-
are such an old man."
The ham and Swiss on rye is not something I grew up with.
I wouldn't think so. A little extra bacon on there too, maybe a couple slices of bacon, some ham.
Yeah, that's ham and Swiss. The only place you're going from there is ham and Swiss on white. And with
But
mayo.
wait, did your wife grow up eating ham and Swiss? I know she loves her bacon, doesn't she?
Well, let me tell you something. She's gonna get so pissed at me for this.
Oh,
well,
no.
she also
Well, it's
remember
my
too,
fault. I brought her up.
Well, so we're driving home. She's in the car with me, and I'm driving home, and I've got the pastrami. You know, they wrap it in the wax paper, they tape it up, and I.
How
put it
did
in
you
the bag.
last the car ride?
Well, I struggled, and here's the vegetarian, well, the bacatarian, and she's like, "Oh, that I smell it." She was sort of saying like, "Well, I sure smell that pastrami," kind of giving me the attitude, like, "Well, I guess it's going to smell like pastrami the whole way home," and I'm like, "Hell yeah, it is." Like when I leave a good car wash and they say, "Do you want?" I ask for the spray that smells like pastrami
There you go.
instead of new car smell or like pine. I would have the thing dangling from my mirror. I would actually dangle strips of pastrami from the mirror.
You
So-
should.
so
You should
she's
put
all
like
mad
a
at
pork
me.
chop there.
So we get home and I slap the package down on the island in the kitchen, and she comes over and she goes, "Hey, let me taste check that pastrami for you."
Oh boy.
I'm like, "What?" She goes, "Yeah, I got to have some." I'm like, okay. And
You're gonna be in
I
trouble
kind
now.
of give her and she's like, "Oh my God, that's so good." I said, "You're allowed to eat meat. You eat bacon." I said, "Let me make you a sandwich." She goes, No, I don't know if my body can handle that. It totally could.
Well, that was nice of you to offer.
Well, I had a pound of it.
It's still.
It's
but,
one.
I mean,
it's one strip.
okay. Well,
And
one
I
piece
followed
on a
everything up
sandwich?
with. I
It's
followed it up
terrible.
with a candy bar you gave me.
Okay, what'd you think?
More on that. No, more on that coming up in a bit.
Okay.
More on that coming up in a little bit here on Dan Bernstein Unfiltered.
Speaking of
That is
meat.
brought to you by our friends at Protein Bar and Kitchen. When we start talking about food, see, we're talking about all this unhealthy stuff. Why don't we talk about the kind of alternative that gives you all the satisfaction of a protein-filled breakfast or lunch or dinner with craveable, satisfying flavors, but supercharged ingredients, and most importantly, especially for those of us who are old, healthy alternatives, healthy swap outs. Like instead of a big dollop of sour cream, there will be Greek yogurt. And it's all like power food and energy. And the best part of Protein Bar, first of all, it's convenient and it's whatever you want. If you want to swap something out, you want to say less of this, more of this, of course, you can find Protein Bar and Kitchen, 15 different locations all over the Chicagoland area, including Northbrook and Oak Brook. And they've got all sorts of things for fall. I know you have enjoyed the entire fall menu. There's a code for you right now. The code for the app is DBU50. DBU50. You get 50% off your next visit on orders up to $25. This is the PBK app, Protein Bar and Kitchen app. You open it up, You hit more, hit enter promo code, enter the code, hit submit, apply the offers, and then you can try the Miso Salmon Bowl, the Smashing Pumpkin Shake, the Boo Berry Halloween Shake, or any of your favorites, Maddie.
Yeah, so I've obviously I like to start my day off with the Perk, which is the a blended shake with espresso. The Wrigley Peeled was really good during the Cubs playoff run. PB&J, my favorite, and it is a fan favorite too. But I'm going to tell you about the bowl that I had the other day, the Chicago Med. So it's a Mediterranean bowl, roasted chicken. There was feta cheese and grape tomatoes and some romaine and some red cabbage. But the preserved lemon tahini, it just took it to a different level. It was so good. And I got to tell you this, too, because we eat a lot of bowls. Like, if we I got to tell you this, Dan.
You're breaking into Paul McGuire.
I got to tell you this, Dan.
I got to tell you.
We so if we're not cooking at home, Natalie and I like to go out and get bowls. And, and there's different spots you can go out and get bowls. The PBK, they're the best ones that I've had. The ingredients just taste the freshest. But here's the thing that I love about it most is the price on it too. Like, we'll go to like Vernon Hills and there's a couple spots that we get bowls. Man, like, you're going in and you're spending a fortune just to get 2 bowls. But the PBK stuff, I'm just blown away at the pricing on their menu for everything, which I really love. But I'm telling you, you've mentioned the app. You've got to get the app. You download the app, use the app, and the more you use it, the more stuff they give you. Like Thursdays, they have $5 blended drinks. If you buy things, they give you rewards. Like, you can go in and you buy stuff, you go in, and then there's a reward available. Oh, I take a look at it, extra protein boost. So you throw in extra protein in whatever you're getting. And it's right there included because it's your reward on your app. You've got to download the app and use it, PBK, Protein Bar and Kitchen.
There was baseball going on yesterday. There was baseball going on last night. And we saw one of the strangest plays anybody has ever seen. Postseason, spring training, I don't care what level of baseball. I don't know that I've ever seen an 8.62 GDP that started with a 400-foot hit event.
No, you've never seen it. It's never happened in baseball. The 8.62 double play is the first time it's ever happened in the playoffs. The way it took place, you'll never see again. So Sal Frelick's in center field, and bases loaded, top of the fourth, 1 out, fly ball hit, and you think it's going to be a grand slam. And he jumps up.
Max Muncy hit it.
Max Muncy hit it off of Frelick's glove, out of his glove, hits the yellow line on the wall, bounces off the wall. Sal Frelick catches it, throws the ball into the shortstop. For whatever reason, no one's running on the bases. The shortstop throws home. The ball beats the runner home, so that's a force out at third.
Out at the plate.
Contreras goes on down to third base, steps on third to get the double play, to complete the force out and the 8.62 double play. If you have not seen the video, I posted it at 312 Sports, 312 Sports Shy on our X account. Check that out. It's unbelievable. I mean, I had to watch it multiple times just to see what was happening because no one knew, like, and the announcers didn't know. It's such an unbelievable play, Dan. It's insane. Absolutely insane play.
Have you seen the snapshots of Sal Frelick's face throughout that play?
I have not, but if you watch the video, and I can imagine where they're pulling the memes from because he's out there, like, has no idea if was that an out, what's happening. He's just standing out there with a look on his face. So I'm sure the memes are great.
Yeah, there's so many because at one point his hat is off. He's got hair in his face. He has this absolutely insane expression on his face. And the jokes that have been made, someone said it out and said, if I ever send this to you, it means I'm in trouble. Like, this is my sort of like safe word thing that says, send help if you ever see this on my account. It was bizarre. And it's weird for Bears fans and maybe for Commanders fans as well, because you can't keep track of everything, and you're missing stuff while you're watching a Bears game. And the Bears game is so obviously the priority. And then you don't want to get too far away from it. You take a little bit, okay, I got to see what happened here. I have to watch this whole thing. And then you're like, oh, the Bears game is coming back on. And then I start getting anxious to make sure. And I say, look, chill out. You'll be able to go back and see everything. Stay with the Bears game. Make sure you're taking good. Just stay where you be there. Be where you got to be mentally right now. But that looked like something with enough really smart people who were posting things like "Holy shit!" and "This is I've never seen the craziest play of all time," etc. This starts pulling your attention away.
Yeah, no, it was not. I didn't watch 1 second of it. I was totally focused on Bears. I'll watch game 2 today. But apparently, I mean, Blake Snell had quite the outing. What a really good defensive baseball game where the Dodgers are leading 1-0 going into the 9th inning. They score 2, or they score 1. I'm sorry, to have a 2-0 lead, and then the Brewers score 1 in the bottom of the 9th. The Dodgers get to hang on for the 2-1 victory. But I'm telling you, if you have not seen that play yet, you've got to watch it because you've never seen it before. You'll never see it ever again. It's just what an unbelievable play that took place last night for that 8-6-2 double play.
If you are a fall or winter griller, as I am, not a gorilla, an actual a griller, you have to make sure that you avail yourself of what's going on at Omaha Steaks right now, because this is the early Black Friday sale that's going on at Omaha Steaks, and this is America's original butcher since 1917. I've been talking about Omaha Steaks for years because I've been enjoying Omaha Steaks for years. My dad's whole side is from Omaha. We actually know the founders and original owners, the family, the Simon family that runs Omaha Steaks, and it's still going strong, better than ever right now. I've got a freezer full of stuff here where I always feel like I can go down and I can see the room right now where I can go right over there and open that thing and just decide, do I want one of these center cut pork chops? Do I want one of these giant ground filet mignon burgers, or 3 of them? And you can have that same feeling right now because during the early Black Friday sale, it's 50% off site-wide, an extra 20% off select favorites at omahasteaks.com. Plus, because you're listening right now, you get an extra $35 off with the promo code. It's my last name. It's Bernstein. It's Bernstein at checkout. Terms apply. Just go see the site for details. And you know it's awesome because it's Omaha Steaks, grass-fed, grain-finished beef, more marbling for exceptional flavor, USDA-certified tender steaks. And it's a family-owned company. 100 years of expertise in the meat industry, whatever you like, burgers, chicken, pork, seafood, desserts. Do not miss the caramel apple tartlets. Just trust me on this. Caramel apple tartlets. And you're going to get back to me and you're going to say, oh yeah, okay. Whatever your order is, make sure you throw in some of those because right now you can save big. Omaha Steaks, 50% off site-wide, and extra 20% off select favorites during the early Black Friday sale. You want an extra $35 off. That's a lot. Use the promo code Bernstein at checkout. Terms apply. See site for details. That's 50% off at omahasteaks.com. Promo code Bernstein at checkout.
The Mariners, they won yesterday also 10-3, so they're up 2-0. Tonight you have game 2 at Milwaukee. Big game Freddie against Yamamoto.
That's fastball Freddie to you. Or Fab 5 Freddie.
It's not big game Freddie.
And then big game James.
Oh, that's right. That was what was his last name?
Shields?
Yeah, that's right. Big game James Shields. Yeah, he was real big game James Shields.
Yeah, I didn't say it was good. It was just big game.
It's just a big game.
Yeah.
He wasn't good game James.
Right, he wasn't going to get anybody out.
And then tomorrow it goes back to Seattle for game 3. And Justin Bieber takes on George Kirby. So should be
Justin Bieber.
Shane Bieber, whatever his name is.
Is Justin Bieber okay?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I know I've seen people ask that stuff on social media and whatnot. I've seen weird videos. I have no idea.
He's going through a thing. I guess when you're famous when you're 10, your midlife crisis is at like 30 whatever.
Well, who knows what's taken place in his life too.
That's what I mean.
You know, there's been things. I think.
I know everybody's got things.
I hope he's okay because I love his music. I'll be honest with you.
I know.
I'm a huge fan.
Nothing. I wasn't sure. I see pictures and I see, you sort of absorb things from the online universe, and yeah, we obviously certainly hope he's okay. Let me tell just a quick story I want to tell before I get to my experience with the candy bar that you threw at me a couple of days ago.
Not true.
So I mentioned that, and we're going to get to this on Forward Progress, what happened in the chat last night.
Okay. Yes.
Because we had an invader. We had somebody, Leroy Jenkins, the chat. But and OWC returns later today, by the way. So there's a theme here developing. I played golf on Sunday, and lovely day. My dad just said, "Hey, you want to come up and play 9 real quick?" I said, "Absolutely." Bears aren't playing. Day is perfect. The problem with playing golf in the fall, as you know, if you're a year-round type golfer, even when it's light out, there's something about the autumnal angle of the sun and leaves that can make it nearly impossible to find a ball that's in the rough at all, if the rough has any length to it. And you know that, and you know you're going to lose some balls that you shouldn't lose. And you want to keep your pace, so you bring extras with you, because it's sometimes. And if you're playing competitively, somebody say, "Look, I'm not going to just drop one. I know you'll find it eventually. Don't worry about it. Don't take a penalty."
You need to stop using those fall-colored balls, though.
Yeah, the yellow ochre balls that I'm using.
Yes, and like the orange leaf balls, and
I kept thinking every time when I was driving on the Edens, I kept thinking like Bob Ross. When you're looking at the way the leaves are changing, I know exactly what brush he would use, and I know he would say, "Get a little cad yellow here. I'm going to use a little sap green, a little yellow ochre, and you just want to tap. You just want to tap to get that highlight there, and that moves it toward the forefront, because you want this to be in the distance, so that's going to be more blurry, and this has more detail because it's closer." So.
Do you know the difference between garbanzo beans and chickpeas?
I saw that. Yes. The voice doesn't work on that.
No,
yes.
it doesn't work, but
No.
it's so funny.
And truth be told, it might not be that far from old Uncle Bob, who liked his fast cars and fast women.
Seriously?
Oh, yeah. Bob liked a nice tumbler of whiskey and a fast car.
I did not know that. Hey!
Oh, Bob lived the life, man.
I did not know that.
Cool dude. No, he was a real one. And the documentary is really sad.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
About what happened to his legacy and what happened with his son and the Bill Alexander stuff and the whole thing. But that's not why you called.
That's not what you were talking about. Sorry.
So I lost a ball. And the balls that I was using, because Jason works and has worked at Play It Against Sports here on Lincoln, and I don't care what golf balls I use generally, because I'm not good enough for it to matter.
I buy the cheapest ones.
Every once in a while, they have all the refurbished balls and the stuff that they have there. So he'll bring home a bag of Top Flights and hand them to me. Here, take these. I got them for 10 cents each, whatever. I said, fine. So middle of the summer, we were going to go play. He said, "I got a bunch of golf balls for you." And he hands me the golf balls. And what I didn't realize until I started playing with him, he had taken a Sharpie and he drew a dick on every one of the balls. just like a little dick and balls on every one of them. And to me, now once I've got it, okay, they're in my bag, and now I don't think about it. So I'm standing over a putt on blue 1. It's a par 4. It's a par putt too. I had a beautiful 9-iron about 18 feet from the hole. No, so I did a birdie putt, missed it. And my dad comes over and he goes, "Is there a penis on that ball?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, "Your grandson drew them." And I started taking them out of my bag. I said, "Here's another one. Here's another one. Here's another one. Here's another one." And then so the next hole, I pull the drive. Can't find it. so you lose the ball. Now, thankfully, there's no name on it. Now, remember, this is a private country club. I'm not at some Muni course.
Right.
I'm not out at Indian Boundary, which I love, by the way, or Robert Black, or one of my usual stopping grounds. So all I can think of is it's going to be some round in a fall league, and Roberta Moskowitz is going to.
Yeah, I was going to say it's going to be some woman.
Right, she thinks it's her ball.
And she's going to pick it up, and she's going to, "Oh, I found a ball that's not mine. I'll keep it."
Judy Slotkin.
And there's a big penis on it.
Oh, why is there a cock on my ball? Well, I'll play. I guess I'll play it.
She's going to be so offended. She's going to take it right back to the pro shop.
How dare this happen out here? I want to know who did this, and I want
Demand
more
answers.
of these.
Right.
Although, in knowing some people, you play it, you get your first birdie of the year, and then you start drawing them on all your own balls, right?
Or do you think she'll go into the pro shop and ask to get in like a sleeve?
Yeah,
I think
like, whatever these are.
balls, yeah,
Give me more of these.
more of the penis balls. That's great. Well, I'm shocked that Jason would do that. I don't know where
I know,
from.
right? I thought I taught him better than that. I thought you should know to certainly behave better than that.
And that's the kind of stuff we can expect on OWC.
It's coming back today. If you're a Bulls fan, if you're an NBA fan, if you've been, this will our third full year. It's back. It's back. We have taken control of OWC away from Odyssey Corporation, and it now belongs to us here on 312 Sports, and it will be coming back to you. And we have the RSS feed, so if you're subscribed, it's going to find you again. But make sure you do resubscribe if you want.
What's the plan for the show for you and Jason?
We're going to cover the Bulls for better or worse, and NBA stuff. We always do the showdown at the end where we challenge each other with trivia questions. He's usually ahead of me. He probably has more NBA current knowledge than I do at this point. I've got obviously more NBA historical knowledge and perspective and a better basketball mind than he does. And there's also a lot of ball breaking. It's father-son ball busting in a way. I always say he can talk to me, even though he shouldn't. He's able to talk to me in a way that others can't. And because he knows me like that.
Yeah. And what's the release plan for the episodes?
Well, it's going to be Tuesday afternoons.
Okay.
That's the best we can do because he's down at Tulane and he's working this around classes and his sports editorial responsibilities for the school paper, for all the reporting and column writing and editing that he's doing. So and baseball that he's playing because the fall season is going to be starting for them soon. I think they're playing Louisiana Lafayette in a series coming up. So he's going to work it in on Tuesday afternoons, and for the moment, it's probably going to be weekly. And then if things get fun and things get a little more interesting for the Bulls, we'll do it as necessary. Like I say, the cool thing about podcasting on 312 Sports is you never know. So you got to get subscribed. You got to set alerts because we could always drop a surprise in there for you.
Awesome.
And we always say, good, better, best. Never let it rest until your good gets better and your better gets best.
Oh! I love it. I love the idea and the image of Ben Dice Clay.
I just love the smoke.
I love it. Yeah, the jackets.
On the back, it says like BJ Dice on the back in rhinestones. Oh, thank you for handing me that Take 5 bar because you heard what I said about the fast break bar and you said, all right, try this. It's excellent. I don't know that it quite hit me the same as a king size Take 5, just because of the one that you gave me, or of a fast break. The one that you gave me had two separate pieces, so it's like a 100 grand full size or a Heath full size because there's separate little, almost like turtles. And yes. I did each individual in 2 bites each. Mm-hmm. Which I think is proper. I didn't want to throw the whole thing in. Really, really, really good.
Yeah, I loved it.
Really good. I do think that the salt of the pretzel gives you a little bit of that toothsome crunch to it. There's peanut butter, there's caramel, there's chocolate. And so it's pretzel, chocolate, caramel, peanut butter,
peanuts.
And peanuts.
Yep.
Right? And that's the 5 in the Take 5. So next time I'm going to do each piece in 1 bite.
Wow. Okay.
It reminded me as far as texture, a little bit of a 100 grand bar that has the rice instead, but you get a little bit of that crunch with the pretzel instead of with the rice.
Yeah, and then the caramel, nice little layer of caramel.
Yeah, you get a little more stickiness with the caramel than you do with the peanut butter. It's a little more velvety with the peanut butter, but outstanding.
So
I have no complaints.
Good. There's a local ice cream place up here in Libertyville, Dairy Dream, And it's it's like a all carry out little, so imagine
do they do
Dairy
like
Queen.
a concrete with the Take 5 chunks in it?
So they do a theirs is called the salty and sweet, or sweet and salty, and so it's, imagine that candy bar but in one of their mixers. It's
in.
dude,
I'm in. Yeah, the place
so
that I
good.
go here, the place on Belmont and Paulina called Scooter's Custard,
Okay.
which is to me it's the absolute best soft serve I think I've ever had in my life, and that would be like I don't know if they do a Take 5 like crumbled in their vanilla
Yeah.
in what they call a concrete would be just absolutely outstanding.
Well, next time you're up here fishing in your secret spot, which we won't share with anyone ever.
Thank you.
There's a place in Mundelein called Greg's Custard.
Okay.
Little to go shop. It is easily the best custard I've ever had.
Okay,
It's really good, dude.
I'll put Scooters up against anything.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed the candy bar. I loved it when I got it, and that was recommended by a listener. Tried it the other day at Mariano's when I rescued some old meat, and I absolutely loved it. And I said, you know what? I got to share that with Dan.
Good for you. And we have this one crazy listener who calls himself Strangles the Clown. Because
he's on something.
Because of the horses in Wayne that had
Yes.
contracted strangles, as you know, and sent a picture of me mocked up in the back of Mariano's in red Cuban baseball pants with a Reese's Fast Break sticking out of my pocket, and above the day-old baked goods it said "Murder Cakes for Adoption."
Yeah.
And I was holding a discounted steak over my head like a trophy.
Would you like me to post that online?
I don't know.
Okay.
That guy, I don't know if he's like a retired tech billionaire.
I was gonna say he's gonna get fired from his job if he's of working age.
I like to think of that guy, whoever he is, or she, or they, as an independently wealthy, like retired crypto gazillionaire.
I like to think of that individual as someone with internet privileges in a jail somewhere, like in a
Right,
in a
community
penitentiary.
home.
Yes.
Somewhere
They're
like,
locked up for life.
They stole a key from one of the guards and is getting into an office and doing that.
Listens, he downloads the podcast, listens, and then creates things online.
All right, listen, do not miss Forward Progress today, because we're going to dive deep on the Bears, what they did, what they can do, where they are, and my experience with the Forward Progress live chat after the fact.
And we haven't even mentioned once the identical scores in the last 2 weeks.
25-24.
Insane scores.
Yeah, and after they put to bed this idea of surrendering 23 and not winning,
Yeah.
and now it's twice in 2 games.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Outstanding.
So, yep, absolutely.
Good, better, best. Never let it rest until your good gets better and your better gets best.
Dan Bernstein Unfiltered on 312 Sports.